Russian dictator Vladimir Putin has not achieved significant success in the war against Ukraine and could lose even more ground due to US intervention. This is reported by the Wall Street Journal. The article notes that last year, Russian forces captured less than 1% of Ukrainian territory. The publication writes that the swift capture of Venezuelan dictator Nicolas Maduro by the US military once again highlighted Russia's military weakness. After all, Maduro was the Kremlin's most important ally. The situation for Putin is further aggravated by the seizure of a Russian oil tanker by the United States escorted by the Navy. In addition, the enormous budget deficit, which directly affects the Russian population, is putting pressure on the conduct of the war. The Wall Street Journal writes that Putin will not be able to continue the war without the support of the Kremlin's inner circle.
This support could be undermined if the U.S. provides Ukraine with the weapons needed to counter Russian drones and missiles. Therefore, colleagues weary of the war and close oligarchs may well put pressure on Putin to bring him to the negotiating table with a peace plan that Ukraine could accept.
Meanwhile, the United Kingdom is stepping up its support for Ukraine. As The Sun reports, London has announced its intention to create a new powerful ballistic missile for Ukraine to destroy Russian targets deep behind enemy lines. We are talking about Nightfall missiles, which will be capable of carrying 200-kilogram warheads and will have a range of almost 500 kilometers, enough to strike Moscow from the battlefield, The Sun writes. The article notes that the intention to manufacture missiles for Ukraine was confirmed by the UK Defence Secretary John Gilly. The country is currently looking for companies to design, develop, and supply the first 3 missiles for test launches. US President Donald Trump expects a clear response from Russian dictator Vladimir Putin regarding the peace plan. According to Axios, so far Putin has not shown any willingness to agree to or even seriously consider the existing draft peace agreement. According to the publication's sources, Donald Trump's special envoys, Steve Witkoff and Jared Kushner, met with Russian envoy Kirill Dmitriev in Paris on January 7th. During the meeting, they handed him a plan for ending the war that had been agreed upon with Ukraine. However, the Kremlin has not provided any comments so far. Meanwhile, in an interview with Fox News, Donald Trump spoke about the seized Russian tanker Mariner. He boasted that the US is already unloading oil from it. According to the American leader, the Russian warships that were escorting the tanker did not put up any resistance.
We intercepted a Russian cargo ship that was on its way there. It was being escorted by Russian ships, but they decided not to mess with us.
Donald Trump stated that he does not consider the seizure of the tanker to be a harsh decision. He also refused to answer the question of whether he had spoken with the Russian dictator Vladimir Putin. The New York Times writes that this incident has become a public humiliation for Putin. The article notes that for Russia, which officially appealed to the United States to stop the pursuit of the tanker, this move became yet another insult from Trump. In addition, in an interview with the New York Times, the American leader spoke about his interest in Greenland. In response to the question of what is a higher priority for him, acquiring Greenland or preserving NATO, Trump refused to give a direct answer, but admitted that he might have to make a choice. Trump also stated that Xi Jinping might seize Taiwan but would not dare to do so while he is president of the United States.